Hi, this is Jane again, and I'm back with more art rantings and ravings that I'm so passionate about. And this time I'm going to talk about turning the art world upside down and inside out, which is what we have to do. Teaching art is so important to humanity as a whole. And I've spoken about this before, which you can see in my other videos. But for too long we have suffered the disdain of art as a byproduct of a very failed learning system that seeks to indoctrinate more than it does to actually educate. We're well aware of this at this point. And art has been shoved aside as some kind of luxury element in school curriculums as well. So this has to stop, and we have to start prioritizing art. And the arts as a whole have actually been hijacked by the upper echelons of society, who crown themselves kings and queens of what is and is not great art. All that changes now as we take back the realm of art for the people and claim art sovereignty. If the future of the arts is to thrive, it is going to be represented by people expressing their souls. And in this case, I'm speaking specifically about visual art. There is no other thing that can express soulfully through art except the human being. Yep, we've seen elephants painting with paintbrushes, but they're not painting from their soul. So that is actually the law of the universe. When we express ourselves through our soul. And this law of the universe rejects transhumanism outright. Now, for those who don't know what transhumanism is, basically, in a nutshell, it's a futurist philosophy with the goal of transforming the human species by means of biotechnologies, and usually synthetic, because patenting nature is prohibited, thank goodness. And I believe all advancements and remedies in longevity and curing diseases, etc., can be found in the natural world by both physical and spiritual means. So when the pro-transhumanist scientists introduce thought programming as a natural part of life, it's going to mean game over for art. This is why I'm so passionate about it. Because it seems that technology is at this very moment trying to head off free thinking in every area, as the powers that be struggle to maintain control over humanity. So we all need to put on our vigilant spectacles right now and take a closer look at this, because technology has no soul. And if technology has no soul and dominates our future, there will be no more human art. It's going to all be AI generated, artificial intelligence generated. So do you want to live in that world? Because I know I don't. So us, the so-called little people of the art world, must rise up and start taking themselves seriously, because no one else will. Quackademia is definitely not going to do it. And we have to reclaim art as one of the most important aspects of humanity's existence, because it is. For too long it has gone purposefully underrated and deemed mostly unnecessary unless it can be monetized in some form. And in our current world, we see that art is deemed almost useless unless it can be magically transformed into fiat paper currency. So what happens then is it flushes almost all born artists from society, because they become immediately deterred upon discovering that the chances of making a living from art outside of commerce are few and far between. So they choose a primary way to garner an income, and immediately their artistic tendencies become secondary and sometimes discarded for the rest of their lives. And this is such a shame, because our world badly needs to be enhanced with a more artistic eye than your average construction guru, whose hands are sadly tied, and they can't be creative because their hands are bound by so many rules and regulations that the only shelter they can build is ugly as sin, with little or no room for startlingly gorgeous features that we would all love to be surrounded by. And then there's costs and safety legislation factored in, and then we all end up living in vast swaths of cheaply built boxes of varying sizes that does very little to enhance the human existence and our everyday lives. So you can see how art affects everything. And when we embrace artistic values as very high on our list of standards, all this changes very quickly. I mean, our mood is affected by what we see. And think about in nature, how beautiful you feel out in nature. So it's time to infiltrate the education system with a means to prioritize the arts, learn how to teach the basics of art to our own children if we can't find somewhere to educate them. And we got to do it now, because otherwise it's just going to just slip away in time through the slippery fingers of digital technology, which renders us devoid of our souls. So I hope you enjoyed this little rant, and thanks a lot for listening. Please subscribe and share. And I've just started out, it hasn't been very long, and so I'm looking for new members and subscribers, and that would be great if you shared and helped out a little bit. Okay, thanks a lot. I'll be back soon.